Vague refers to something that is unclear or imprecise in its meaning or intention. Inconsistent, on the other hand, refers to something that does not remain the same or is not uniform in its behavior or quality.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to our podcast, Vaguely Inconsistent. I'll remember the name eventually. I'm Jack, Duke, and Lou. We're a bunch of friends. We all live in different places, so that's why we have to do the podcast remotely. So let's get into it. I've known Duke since 1999. To make the story easy, I met him through, I guess, my sister-in-law. We're not getting into all that, though.
That'll be the drinking podcast.
That's a different podcast, son.
Yeah, totally different. That'll take up a whole other podcast. We get into that. The first time I remember hanging out with you, it was flag football with your DeVry friends. We went to the park.
Yeah.
And we played flag football. And I'm like, hey, I kind of like you. Let's go see Phantom Menace when it comes out in a couple months. And then we did the midnight opening for the KB Toys.
Mm-hmm.
I said, dude, the one thing I want is that 12-inch Mace Windu figure. This fucker army rolled under the gate as soon as they started lifting it.
Oh, sorry, I forgot that story. I was still laughing. I was like, oh, yeah, that did happen. I heard that a while back.
Mm-hmm.
And then just, dude, ever since then, we went to see all the prequels together at midnight, way back in the day when you didn't reserve seats.
We saw Phantom Menace 19 times.
Yeah, we did.
Getting there 6 hours early just for that midnight show.
Yep. As soon as work got out.
I think the most memorable one for me was when we went and saw it in digital, when digital wasn't even like a thing. And it was, there was like 8 theaters in the entire country because it costs like $50,000 for a projector. And people were like, nobody will buy that. And now look at us 25 years later. Like,
we should still have the brochure from that.
Yeah. We should have definitely invested in that way.
Damn. Yeah, just like an HD DVR. Yeah, that was great.
And I invested in beta. Wait, what? No, I did not.
Hey, man, I still got my beta player and a beta camcorder, man. So I don't want to hear it.
Well, it's the homegrown porn looks so much better on beta. So
it really does, man. Those small tapes make you look bigger. I'm telling you.
And then we actually moved in together. We were roommates in 2001.
Yeah, in Long Beach.
That sounds about right. Yeah, we lived together for a couple years.
I don't know that story. I didn't know you guys lived together.
A little apartment. We had a whole computer network set up called These Nuts.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We had left nut, right nut, and then we had the middle computer where we just stored everything was the taint.
Yep.
Makes
sense.
And
it was many hours of Star Wars Galaxies.
Yep. Well, that's how we got to see George Lucas at Celebration 3.
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
Have to wait in the cold and the snow.
I mean, I don't want to hear that because that was me out there. That was Gretchen, Charlie, Don, all of them, Jim. They're in the hotel. I volunteered to camp out, and then boom, rain, snow. I was out there until I got relieved about 5 in the morning. Then I went back, took a shower, and came back and joined everybody. But yep, lucky y'all, I was definitely in that mess.
Hey, I was in that mess too for a night or two, or a morning or two, actually. Just not that morning. I think we were all in that line at least once.
Yeah, at least
that was when we were all just that was when we all just were going to go. So,
yeah,
only reason ever to go to Indianapolis.
Hey, you're gonna cut off our demographic. What are you doing?
I know. I love you, Indianapolis. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, go Hoosiers. That's who it is, right?
We're a very pro Indianapolis 500 podcast here.
Oh yeah. Who doesn't like basketball? Oh wait, that's
Sponsor us. Wait, what? So we lived together for a couple of years, and then Milt moved in with you. Your brother moved in with you when I moved out.
Yep.
I don't remember why I moved out.
That was my next question too, bro. What happened?
I have no
Jack
idea.
sneaking up on you? Stay in your own bedroom, Jack. What the hell?
Right. No, I think they were raising the rent or something. Duke's like, nope, fuck it, I'm out. I'm gonna go move next to Disneyland.
I could see that.
I think that might have been it. Is that I was that I moved closer to Disneyland, and then Danielle and I moved in together.
Was that when you got that apartment managing job?
Yeah.
Is that why?
Probably. Yeah. Like I got the offer. Like I was looking at apartments, contemplating leaving, and then they came around and said, "Hey, if you move in here, you can be the manager, and we'll take $500 off your rent or whatever." And I was like, "Done."
Wait, so was that apartment near Disneyland?
Yeah, I lived in Anaheim.
You heard the fireworks every night.
I lived in Anaheim for like 4 years, 5 years,
something like that. Yeah,
like the late 2000s was all that. So yeah, I lived 3 different places in Anaheim, and the last place I lived at, it was a block from Disneyland. So yeah, got to hear fireworks every night for like 4 years, and people would be like, why would you want to live there? And I'm like, well, I mean, where else in the world can you go and get fireworks every night? You know,
right? Every night they're celebrating you.
Yeah,
right.
But that was back, but we were Jack and I were talking about this when we hung out in January. That was when we'd use the shopping passes. Yeah. That was when Disney had their shopping pass. So you would go up with your credit card, and you would go to the photo booth, and you'd say, I need a shopping pass, because back in the day, Disney used to give you so much stuff was only in Disney. Like this was like Disney. I think Downtown Disney existed, but it wasn't like it wasn't like half Disney stores like it is now. Like when Galaxy's Edge opened up and they opened up the outpost in Downtown Disney, that stuff didn't happen. And so you would go and you'd say, hey, I need a shopping pass, and you'd get like a 3 hour.
It was an hour.
It was an hour?
It was like an hour.
So you'd get you'd get basically a temporary pass, and you could go into the park. So if let's say you bought a t-shirt and it was too small. Well, there's no real way back in the day, back in the early 2000s, there wasn't a way for you to exchange it without going back into the park. So they would give you the pass and you'd have an hour. So we would we would take the pass and run into the park and go ride Indiana Jones, go ride Star Tours, we'd fast pass all of it that we could. And then we'd go shopping at the stuff, we'd go to Star Trader and that type of stuff. And then we'd just be on our phone like, okay, we got 20 minutes. What can we do?
Yep.
Yeah.
And they would just,
we're like,
well, they had your credit card. So if you didn't make it back in time, they just charged you for a pass, charged you for a day pass.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you'd give them your credit card, and they would give you a temporary one for 3 hours or an hour or whatever it was. And then if you weren't back at the front by that time, then they would just charge you for the day pass.
Wait, but if you gave them your credit card, how are you buying your stuff if you wanted to use?
No. They just ran it.
Oh,
you didn't.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't like a bar. Where,
yeah. They just scan it and go. Okay.
Yeah. Because I think they probably even held the day pass. Like they just held that amount on the card.
Right.
So that way they could just be like, beep, beep, he's not back. Okay. I don't think we ever got charged though. We always made it back in time.
We were quick.
Back then it probably didn't even matter. Day pass was probably $40 back then.
Yeah.
We were
also
poor.
Fair.
That's like
we were all so much poorer back then too.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, right now we're like 180 a day or whatever the hell it is right now.
Yep.
So
that's wild.
Yeah, and then I moved back to Oregon, and Jack moved to Vegas.
I think we did that about the same time too.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys left at the same time? Oregon
around the same time.
It was not a far time between those both happening.
Because you've been at the police station now or emergency services for how long?
15 years.
Okay, because you had one job before that. You had one warehouse job for like a couple years before that, right?
Yep.
So yeah.
Because when I met him, he was at the warehouse.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Then we moved here in 2005, and then I met Lou in 2006-ish, like beginning of 2006.
Yeah, it was late 2005, early
the Rebel
06.
Scum. Yeah,
that was the Rebel Scum meetings, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
The Rebel Scum
you met at like a Denny's or something, right?
Nah, it was like a.
I thought it was a meetup.
Sports bar.
Sports bar.
It was like a sports bar.
But I'm saying it was like a meetup. Like it was a Vegas. Because if I remember correctly, Rebel Scum used to be divided up into like you could go into like Vegas or Nevada or whatever, Southwest or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically what it was. And then we were trading, we were collecting like the Power of the Force line figures. Yep. That came out in 95, I believe it was 95 red card and all the way through. And then I believe at that point is we were just hunting the town, and a group of us found each other on Rebel Scum and obviously using Yak Face and stuff like that to figure out what was out. And then we would get together. It was like, hey, let's all get together and trade what we have. So like some people could find this, some people could find that in different parts of town. So yeah, we ended up meeting up at, I think it was a sports bar though. I thought it was like on east part of town, something like that. Like
the first one I remember was over there on the Grand Canyon and Flamingo by Target.
Canyon and
it's not there anymore.
By my parents?
Like,
I didn't remember it being over there. I thought we were on East Rock, dude.
Because I remember the first time I saw you was in that Target. Because as any respecting collector would do, you go to the store before you go meet up with the other geeks.
Facts.
I'm like, look at this motherfucker in his stiff baseball jersey. Like some kind of flipper. He doesn't even like Star Wars. He just fakes it. It's like a Hot Wheels collector. And then we get to the restaurant. I'm like, oh.
It's like that dude.
That's that guy.
I bet that guy's really a Hot Wheels collector, and he's just wearing the Sith shirt to throw people off.
Oh yeah, I mean, I need to get my treasure hunts that morning. So
Jesus Christ! Oh my God, dude!
You know, side note, since we're on it, I actually have the set of 2,000 treasure hunts because I saw them while I was out hunting for Star Wars stuff. So I have the complete set of 2,000 treasure hunts.
I don't think I've ever seen one in person. I know those guys are always looking for that stuff, but I don't think I've ever seen one.
Man, these days you see a Hot Wheels box at a store on a pallet, it has been gone through. Those dudes are no joke. They have no shame. The Hot Wheels collectors will just plow right through it. Hey, leave that there. Okay. As soon as that person leaves, they are plowing through that box.
No, they get the call. Like they already have people on their payroll. They got
some do.
Yeah,
you're not wrong about that.
Then they'll get a text from the Walmart guy when the shipment shows up, and he'll be like, "Oh, yep, on the shipping manifest, we have 3 boxes of this," and it'll be whatever serial number it is, right, or whatever run number it is, and that guy will know exactly what's in that box. He'll come to the store. They'll bring that box out for him because they'll just tear the little piece of plastic off. Give it to him. He'll go through the box real quick, give it back, and take off. And then that guy will make money off of whatever. He'll get a percentage of whatever.
Yeah, he'll get a kickback. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. They knew me well enough at the Walmart. Remember Walmart was 24 hours back then. So if I get bored middle of the night, I would just pack up and hit the town and do my circle, do my loop. And the stalkers, after a while, they knew me and like, oh, here for Star Wars again. And they would just tell me, oh, there's a couple of boxes over there in the pallet. And they were like, yeah, go ahead and go through them. And they would just let me go through them. And then I'd open it up, take what I wanted, and I would peg the rest of the stuff for them. So I wouldn't be, that asshole that's just leaving everything open. And it'd be simple. If I grabbed enough stuff, I'd take an empty box, take my stuff back, and then back to the Rebel Scum like we talked about, and either trade with whoever needed to trade, or like Jack was saying earlier, flip that, help make my collection free. Mm-hmm. Buy 3, sell 2 for the price of 3. 1 is free. That's my collection. And that's how I ended up getting most of mine. No shame. I tell you right now. Matter of fact, people, remember that, Jack? People got mad at me for doing that. Yep. What happened 6 months later? Everybody was doing it. It's like, wait, why does Lou always have money? Oh, because he's not paying for his collection. That's why.
To be fair, Lou, before that, they all knew where money was coming from, and it wasn't your collection.
I mean, I got these pretty nostrils, these pretty Negro nostrils. I'm gonna use them, son.
Using a boba straw.
And then you guys started going to Comic-Con together, right?
I think that was that was 2007 though. I thought. We were going, but I don't think we were going together.
Yeah, I think in Comic-Con 6. We're like,
6?
oh, hey, there's Lou.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
yeah.
It was 6.
Like, hey, there's Lou. We weren't like super hanging out, but he started inviting me places, and then that's when we went for a sushi and sake that night. Live in infamy.
Pineapple sake, baby.
Yep.
Oh man, that sounds
I
terrible.
must have 5 like iced tea glasses of that.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's like Kool-Aid. And then I don't remember the rest of the night. At one point, we're like, hey, let's go watch Resident Evil 3. And then I woke up in the bathroom, and then I woke up at home.
Yep. And I still haven't seen the end of that movie.
Nope, I haven't seen any of them since then.
Yeah, me neither, actually. But yeah, I think it was because we ended up doing, because in 2007 is when we did, was that LA?
Celebration
LA, right?
Celebration.
Okay.
Yeah. And
yeah,
that's
after
probably
that
when
point,
you met Duke. You would have met Duke then, probably.
Yeah, because I was.
Maybe.
I think that was. Well, that was the first time. That was the first time that I worked. That was the first time I worked Celebration. Was the first LA one, because I was the local contact that knew where all the Home Depots and stuff were, even though I didn't.
See, I thought I met you before that though at SDCC 06, because you were going there for a while before.
Well, I was going before I moved. Well, before I moved back up here. I only stopped going because I moved back up here, and it got too complicated being up here. Like,
oh yeah. All that was a pain.
The last year that I went, I remember the last year we went, we had to stay in like El Monte or some shit at like we stayed at like a Motel 6. And the following
El
year,
Camino. Oh, what is that? Off the 8, yeah.
Yeah,
because
we
did it once.
The Hotel
Yeah.
Row,
Yep.
right? Well, I think it was the following year was when you said, "Oh, they've caught on. The price is now double."
Yep.
Because we stayed for we were there for like $50 a night or something. And we were like,
you got it.
Yep.
It's fine to drive 45 minutes. I always wondered why we just didn't drive down in the morning, because it was always it's an hour and a half drive. Like, what are we doing? Like, if you're staying in at a Hotel Row, why aren't you just driving from the house? You
don't leave Comic-Con until midnight.
Yeah,
you got to be back in line at 3 a.m. So
yeah.
Man, yeah, that was a mess. I remember that crap. But yeah, so it was either SDCC 6, 7, Celebration 7. It was one of those where I think Duke and I met. Obviously, I met him through Jack because they were friends at that point for almost 10 years. And it was, hey, I got some people for you to meet, part of the circle and everything. I was like, okay, cool. And then we hit it off like no problem at all. It was just
because that was when I met you and Don and Bill.
Yep.
And Jane. And
I don't know if Jane was Jane part of that. I don't think Jane was.
Well,
Miguel,
but that whole group,
circle,
that whole group, and then there was a couple others that were kind of tangential, right? Because they were around, but then they kind of fell off. I remember there being it was a big group of people. It wasn't just like the 6 of us. I feel
there was Scott.
Yeah.
Scott and his wife or girlfriend. She was there. I can't remember his wife at the time, but Scott and his significant other. Did Chris ever go? Part of the Rebel Scum? Did he ever go?
So. I don't think he ever made it down there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I for some reason I seem to remember the group being bigger, but I could be wrong. So
no, you're right, because I had some friends that I met up north in San Francisco. I can't remember their names again; it's so long ago. But it was him and his wife, and they hung out with us for a bit too, for two, like 1 or 2 years at least 2. Yeah. And I'm not sure if they're still in it, collecting the whole thing, but they were part of the mix too.
Was it the first? I think it was the second year that we hung out was when that homeless guy tried to fist fight you.
It happens every year, though.
Yeah,
that doesn't really narrow it down. Yeah, we had gone to
we
went
to Safeway. The Ralph. Yeah, there we go. So, yeah, that's right.
We had gone there
breakfast.
for breakfast stuff and to get sodas and stuff. And that guy was yelling at us on the way up, and everyone's like, "Ignore him." And on the way back, he made some pointed comment about you because I think you were the only black guy in our group, and you were like, "What?" And all of a sudden I'm holding your watch and you're kicking your shoes off. And I'm like, what's happening right now? And you're like, we're going, this is going, it's happening. And it took all of us to hold you back. And, and then I remember him running. I remember him running because we could still hear him blocks away. Yeah. He was yelling so loud, but we couldn't see him because he took off. Once you were it's hold my earrings. Then it was the guy was like, oh, it's real. I'm out. And he ran away.
Yeah. I can get a little confrontational every once in a while. I mean, I didn't tell you this, Jack. I almost got in a fight in the movie theater when I went to see Madam Web last week. So,
well, who didn't almost get in a fight after seeing Madam Web? Is all I'm saying.
But, okay.
I was ready to fight some people after paying full price for that thing.
It wasn't good, but it wasn't that bad. It was totally unnecessary though. But this dude was up a row in front of me, 2 seats to the right, just chatting away at his girlfriend. And at one point I said, shh. And that was it. I was like, I'm gonna be cool about this. And then it was fine for about 20 minutes. Then he started up again. Mm-hmm. And I leaned over and I said, do not make me, and hold on, let me look at the camera on this one. Do not make me tell you to shut the fuck up one more time. Do you understand?
Beep. Oh.
Right? And he's leaning.
We want to keep monetized, Lou. We got to keep monetized.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Okay. And then he leans over to his girl and he's like leaning on her and he's like, what? Like, and he was a Mexican dude. I mean, when I heard him talking, they were talking in Spanish. I understood some of the conversation, but either way, he's like, what? And I was like, you heard me. Do not make me tell you to shut the F up one more time. And the rest of the movie, the last 45 minutes, he was quiet. And as soon as it was over, he did not wait to see if there were shawarma. He got up and left. He did not want to risk anything. Man, I was not having it. I was not in the mood. It was already a not so great movie. I did not need his attitude and him talking through it. Damn. If he wanted to if he wanted to Mystery Science Theater 3K that, I probably would have joined in. But he was just there chatting with his girlfriend, trying to be smooth, and was like, nah, bro. I'll take your girlfriend right here.
Lou, man. Mr. Take Your Girlfriend. Moses.
Yeah.
Hold on. Back to what you were saying, dude, because I don't remember the beginning. That was the first Celebration LA. That was your first time you said you were working it? Is that when you were doing the diorama?
Yeah. That was the first
Holy
time.
Holy crap, dude. I didn't realize you were doing it for that long.
Yeah, the Ewok Village.
Yeah. Yeah, the Ewok Village was my first time.
Dang.
So, and I got that because I was on Galactic Hunter and Frank, who was running the diorama at the time, and they'd been doing it since 2. So they'd been doing it since we.
Oh, damn.
Because but they were in like a little conference room, like way off from everybody else. We probably walked by it a dozen times, but I've never been like a diorama guy, so it didn't have any interest to me, you know. But then he was like, he worked at ILM at the time doing Transformers and stuff, and he said, "Hey, like I can get people, we can give tours. I'll do a raffle." And so I didn't get the raffle, but I had messaged him separate, and I was like, "Hey, dude, like, thanks for doing this, like, much appreciated. Like, you know, I've always wanted to work at ILM, blah 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 blah. If you do it again, please let me know. I would totally be down." And he called me the night before or messaged me the night before and said, "Hey, somebody fell, you know, somebody isn't going to be able to make it." Because there were people who were like, "I will fly there. I will I will quit my job. I will leave my wife, like, just to go on this tour." Right. Like, it was crazy. Like, people, like, the thread was just like psychopaths, man. And I'm like, cool. Like, I mean, they're like, my ticket will be $500 to fly there, but I will totally do that for this opportunity. And I was like, where do you get money? Like, because I was still poor at that point, you know, like, and he messaged me the night before. He's like, "Hey, can you be in San Francisco in the morning?" And I called in sick and drove up to San Francisco in the morning. Because, I mean, for me, it was, yeah, I mean, again, it was what? It's what, 3 hours between LA and 4 hours between LA and San Francisco?
It's not a long drive at all.
That's it.
Yeah, it's not a long drive at all.
Okay.
And did the tour, which was super cool. And then, you know, getting to see the Yoda fountain before it became a thing, right? Like, you know, all that stuff. And then he was like, "Oh, you live in LA?" And he's like, "We're going to Celebration and we're doing diorama and I need a guy who knows the area." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I totally know the area." I'm like, "Nope." I was just like, "Wait, you'll give me a free pass to go to Celebration? Okay." and yeah, so then that was the first time I volunteered, and we'll have to do a segment of stories of the diorama at some point. Because
I want to hear them. Damn.
Yeah, and then I stopped going to Comic-Con, and we'll see. Maybe this year. I don't know. It's so much more complicated now than it was when we were going. When you could walk up on Sunday afternoon and be like, buy your tickets for next year, like
for $40.
Yeah. Like you just walked up and they gave you a receipt, and you just had to hold on to the receipt for the year, and then you would walk up with your receipt, and they were like, okay, cool, boom, boom. Like back then, it was easy peasy, man. Now it's 18 steps and 32 queues and
all your friends helping out. And I remember my first time going to Comic-Con was 2000. And I just drove on a Saturday morning with some friends. We bought a ticket that Saturday morning and just walked in. Got a couple autographs from Witchblade and stuff like that, and it was like, okay, kind of hung out for about 6-8 hours. The floor was completely open. I mean, and then hung out with some friends afterwards and then drove back. It was like, that was it. I thought, oh, this is cool. This is easy. I can do this every year. Yeah, right.
Well, then Twilight happened. Like seriously, I think Twilight, when Twilight came out, that's when everything changed for Comic-Con. It was kind of trending towards that, but it was like, I feel like Twilight was the rocket ship that was the first year they had a queue outside for Hall H. They had never had a queue for Hall H before, because people would just come and go like all day long. There was no gate, there was no restrictions, there was no limits. Like you could go to, like, I remember like Danielle and Stacy going to Hall H in the morning because Jack and I had shit to do, and they would go and just hold seats for us, and then we would show up 4 hours later and just walk right in and sit down for Marvel or Star Wars or whatever was happening that day. But like I remember, like it used to be super chill. Like there,
Wait. Iron Man was 2008, right?
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, it was SDCC 2007 when I was sitting next to Jack, because we were like, "Are we in for this movie?" I still remember this to this day. Are we in for this movie? Are we not in for this movie? And they showed the trailer, and then Jack, I turned around to Jack or looked over at Jack and was like, "I'm in." As soon as they showed that trailer with him in the 1-on-1, I guess the 2-on-1 going against the F-15s or whatever it was. That one scene they showed, I was like, 'cause at first I ain't gonna lie, I was like, I don't know about this, man. It's what are they doing?
Well, they hadn't released anything good before that.
Yeah,
the only good comic book movies had been like X-Men, and even then it was like the X-Men was mostly just because it wasn't terrible. Right. Like the X-Men movie now, you watch the X-Men movie now, it's not great, but the stuff that came out before that, it was between X-Men and Spider-Man. Between those two movies, we wouldn't have the MCU and the DCEU and all that kind of stuff if those two movies hadn't come out, I honestly believe that. Because before that, all those movies were terrible. All the movies sucked. Even like The Punisher, while it was a great movie, was not a box office
Dolph
hit.
Lundgren?
Yeah, I think the Dolph Lundgren one was the first one, right?
Yeah, like back in the 80s
and then the Thomas Jane came out, and then that was
after Blade and Spider-Man and all
Daredevil,
that too,
Elektra,
right?
Blade 1 and 2 weren't terrible,
but also like they weren't box office hits, right?
All right,
like
right.
So they might have been cult hits later, right? And now, 20 years later, we're going like, oh my God, I can't imagine anybody but Wesley Snipes being Blade. And, Hugh Jackman somehow still can work out and not have a heart attack and get more shredded than I think the three of us combined have ever been, and still pull off. Well, okay, maybe Jack.
Jack runs marathons, y'all.
Yeah, when he's in his marathon, when he's in marathon mood.
Yeah, if there's a Star Wars medal to be had, Jack's running a marathon.
True.
That's what I'm sitting on right now. They're all under me right now. Very uncomfortable.
I hope you get them turned the right way for sitting on.
Right.
Yeah, he doesn't actually have a computer chair. He just has a pile of
marathon medals.
Yep. And a Chewbacca pillow.
Oh,
important stuff. Yeah.
Anyway, where were we?
Oh yeah, so 2000. We met.
So you guys met. Then we all met.
Yep. And then basically stayed in the loop. Yeah, because me and Jack lived in Vegas for a while until I moved to Colorado. I'm in Boulder right now, y'all. If you look for that one black person in Boulder, you'll find me. So
probably all of Colorado except Denver.
Nah. Aurora is where the people are. So
Okay.
you want good food, go to Aurora. That's all I'm saying.
And that's all because of
I'm
Wayne's
pay
World.
attention to that.
Without Wayne's World, Aurora would be nothing
At all.
Yeah,
think that was
and I'm back
Illinois,
in
though.
Portland, so
Yep.
we have the West and Central covered.
Wait, back up. You said you're back in Portland? So did you go to Portland, come back to Cali, then go to Portland again? Did I miss that?
No, well, so
You
I
was
was
born
born
there,
in
bro.
Cali. I lived in
Okay.
Cali for a period of time up until about 4th grade. Then we moved up here to Portland,
Oh,
and I was here
okay.
all the way up until after graduation. So my influential years were all
Formative.
here. Informative years. There you go. And then I moved back to California for school, and then ended up just staying there for way too long because
Okay.
life comes up, and even though I wasn't going to school anymore, and Jack, of course,
Yeah, like
but yeah, I mean, when your life ends up being somewhere, it's hard to leave it. But then I got to the point where I was I lost my job, I got laid off, and was just at a point of okay, well, I need to make a decision here. And so then I moved back here to Oregon. And now I've been here 12 years, 13 years, however long it's been.
explains the going back. I didn't realize you were from there first 10 years.
Yeah.
Or so. Oh, right on.
You said he's from Minnesota, right?
Honestly, a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. I thought it was Minnesota, California, Portland. I mean, with all the Minnesota love.
I still get called out all the time living here, though, of people accusing me of being Californian because I refer to it as the 5 and the 405 and
Oh yeah, that's me too, dude.
And people are like, "You're from California, aren't you?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" You're like, "Only people from California refer to it as the 5."
You're not lying,
What else
dude.
you gonna call it?
Yeah, exactly. People out here saw that damn SNL skit, and then I'm all like, "Hey, how do you get over there?" To okay, you take the 36 to
San
the
Vicente.
270 to the 70 to the 225, and they're like I-25. I'm like, oh my god, yes. What else would it be? 25th Street. Well, I would have said 25th Street.
The I-25?
No, the 25. You take
What else are you going to call it besides the 25?
Right.
Or you
the assumption is that I think the assumption is that we don't
one
have
or the other. One or the other.
I think the assumption is that we don't have to explain to people if it's north or south or an interstate or what it is. It's just the 5, and everybody knows what the 5 is, right? You take the 5 north,
or if you're going someplace, you don't even have to say north south. You say whatever your location is, if you say take the 5 to the fill in the blank, take the 5 to the 8, depending on where you are, if that's north or south if you're in the area, right? That's how it works. If I'm going across, if I'm someplace and I say take the 7 to the 225, I know based on where that is if it's east or west or whatever. I mean, it's not my fault they can't figure it out.
These days, though, man, people
they get butthurt over everything these days.
No, it's the phones, dude. It's because people rely on their phones so much they don't even I've lived in my house for 4 years, and people have visited me multiple times, and they still can't. Mm-hmm. They still don't know where I live, right? I'll say, yeah, just come over to the house, and they're like, oh, well, we'll follow you, and I'm like, you've been to my house multiple times,
Yeah, I'm with you. When I go to somebody's house the first time like that, I make a point. So I'm talking out loud to myself, hearing the street names and everything, just so I know where I'm going, so I don't have to do that. Mm-hmm. And usually the first time, okay, they guide me, whatever. The second time, I usually get most of it. Not always get all of it, but I'll get most of it. But a third time, I got it. You don't need to tell me anything.
Yeah. I at least can get in the area, right?
Yeah. It's I think it's at this street or the next street. It's one of these two. It's the next street. I'm like, okay, cool.
They don't remember having to print them out on MapQuest.
Oh, gee.
Oh yeah.
And you're looking at the paper while you're driving.
Holy
and you're like,
crap.
And if it was if you were driving a far distance, the map would be so zoomed out that you wouldn't even be able to tell anything. And so you're flipping it over to read the directions, and you're like, wait, it's 300 feet, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, so I'm glad I don't have to do that anymore.
Man. I ain't gonna lie. Growing up, though, I loved the paper map. The paper map was fun for me. It was we're traveling, and it was like we'd have the family, and I have an older brother, my mom and dad, and it was like, give me the map. And I'm like, okay, you got to go here, then here. And then with me, with my math mind, I'm trying to calculate when we're going to get there. And, and I would do pretty good, within, as a, 8-year-old, 10-year-old, within 15 minutes of where we're going. So I was a nerd back. Wait, I'm sorry. I was blurred back then. I still hate that word, dude. I still hate that word, blurred. I remember Hall H or Ballroom 20, one of them, that's SDCC, and they were talking about what was that WB show? I didn't even watch it. I was so mad. The black one, the power one, the energy guy.
Oh, Black Lightning.
Black Lightning. I was like, okay, I'm going to give it a shot. No big deal. We'll see what happens. It's in the universe. I thought it was anyway. We'll see what happens. And then the moment the dude came on stage and was like, where are my blurs at? I'm like, oh, damn. You just segregated us all. I was not having it.
It only is funny. It's only funny, Lou, because the second you said that, your camera just went. So Jack will see it when he's running it back after this. But
oh my god, that's funny. Oh, that's funny. Damn blurs. It was like, man, that's a whole. We could have an hour on that. Freaking those politics. Ugh, get on my nerves.
And for anybody not watching the video, Lou is black.
Oh yeah, if you can't. Yeah, if this is audio only, Lou.
He does sound the whitest out of the three of us, though. But yeah.
I mean, yeah, I live in Boulder, man. What did I tell you about? I mean, that's not true. That it's Boulder's fault that I sound white. Let's be real. But I mean, but I got hockey, I got golf, I got tennis, I got the good sports.
Craft beer. You got craft beer.
We do have craft beer, but I will stay away from IPAs because they're disgusting. I mean, right now everybody's all IPA. 20 years ago, there was a commercial called Bitter Beer Face. And that's what an IPA is, y'all. Don't drink it.
I remember that.
Yep, don't drink it. That old man with the bitter beer face. IPAs are gross. Stick with something dark and lovely like me. Wait, isn't that a hair product or something?
Well, hey,
I think it is.
I don't think
it's a black girl hair product.
Well, then, okay, that explains why I've never seen that commercial. Then,
okay. Damn, Duke, you're missing out. Well, your hair. I know. Put some of your beard, man.
I need to
dark and lovely.
I need to get a little more BET in my life.
Yeah, you can have my show.
You should dye your beard, Duke.
That would be some shit.
It's good.
No, like them dudes with the Christmas beards, they're all green and they got the ornaments
different.
in them.
Hanged ornaments?
That's different. I might do something for EDC. We'll see.
You could do it for the seasons, right? Get it green for now. You had it pink last earlier.
With work.
Okay. Do you have to do that natural color thing?
I don't actually know, but since it's a government job, like
Oh wait, dude, you're in Portland. Yeah. You'll be fine. They will let you get away with anything.
Technically, I work in Vancouver, which is a completely different animal. But that'll be another conversation for down the road. I'll send you guys some Cliff Notes and we can have a conversation.
All right, so just for my own edification and maybe some of the fans out there, are we talking Canada or is there a Vancouver, Oregon?
There's a Vancouver, Washington.
I thought you were. Oh, damn. Okay.
So see, you need Cliff Notes. So I'll send you some Cliff Notes.
Yeah. No. You can educate me while you're educating them. It works out.
There you go.
I mean, I don't mind.
I'll put together a PowerPoint.
Yeah, I don't mind exposition in my movies. I know a lot of people hate exposition in their movies, but if it helps me understand, give it to me.
All right. Will do. I'll remember that next time I hang out with you, Lou.
Yeah, for sure. Well, either that or I'm going to interrupt you 15 times asking, wait, what? Wait, explain this. Because I'm so linear with my OCD that I need to get this story, understand it before we move on to the next one. We can't do this story and then come back and like, so you were saying about that. No, that don't work for me. I'm going to lose my damn mind when I do that. That's like having a drink with no coaster. We ain't doing that.
Like starting something on episode 4 and then going back and telling 1 through 3. Who would do that?
What you doing?
I think they call that the Firefly.
Josh Whedon?
Well, no, that's what they did to Firefly. They didn't show them in order. So
that's right. That's correct. Yep.
The first episode they didn't even show until like the 4th episode or something like that. And then like the 2nd episode was the 3rd. Like it was just. I mean, not that it really matters, but I mean, I guess in the overarching stuff, it could get kind of confusing,
Yeah, I assume there's some place online that'll tell you what order you're quote unquote supposed to watch them in.
Yeah, like Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I forgot Clone Wars. They jumped around for their storylines to finish the storyline.
Mm-hmm.
I remember doing the rewatch on that and was like, I don't remember. You know, it's funny. I did not remember them doing that the first time I watched it. On the rewatch, I was like, wait a minute. This don't add up.
Like, why is this in season 3 when they already caught that guy earlier?
Yeah, so, I'm glad they fixed that problem for Rebels. Rebels was nice and linear. I could handle that.
Can I ask you a question about the Bad Batch? Does that mean that Diego Luna is going to go back and redub his voice for when they're in Rogue One, and he's going to make sure to mention Necromancer now that that's a thing, even though it's never been a thing before now?
It was a thing. Wait,
it was a thing in Mandalorian.
It was a thing in Mandalorian. Yeah,
was it
the Shadow Council? Yeah, the Shadow Council brought it up.
Oh, all right. I think
there's no way they would keep that in the Beach Planet archives.
I was being sarcastic because it's now when he went through his list of code names for projects.
Everything's
now,
in there.
Even though before that it hadn't been a thing. It wasn't a thing until Mandalorian, right? Like it wasn't like in Empire Strikes Back. They were like, oh, project,
Wait, hold on. So
also that's a dumbass name. Sorry. That's a dumbass project name.
You think so?
What?
I mean,
Necromancer, bring him back from the dead.
Yeah, it fits.
But I'm like, wait, the Emperor is now a D&D character? Like, come on. Like, I guess Hemlock, right? Hemlock.
Yeah, he's the Necromancer.
He is a Necromancer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's got,
and for anybody not keeping up, Bad Batch, Disney Plus, cartoon, Star Wars.
Oh, yeah, I guess we're gonna
we will talk about all the Disney Plus shows that we watch.
Oh, for sure. Pop culture, all you name it. We're gonna just randomly. I mean, we're gonna be a little bit, maybe even vaguely inconsistent on everything we talk about.
Yeah,
just so you know.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Oh wow, we didn't even make it through the first episode before we just
randomly.
Use the name of the movie in the movie. Like,
yep.
Hey now.
The moon is going to crash into the earth. It's going to be a moonfall. Like,
but I'm telling you right now, if I'm buying music, if I have a title of a track and it's not in the song, I'm mad. Like, why'd you call it that if it's not in the song? So, like, what are you doing?
Well, thankfully, Billie Eilish has you covered on that. So,
see, we're good.
With her Barbie song, I'm like, I mean, I like the song a lot, but can we not say the same lyric 85 times in a row? Like,
that'd be nice. I'll stick with her James Bond song. Her James Bond song, that last James Bond movie, was it No Time to Die or something like that?
No Time to Die.
Yeah.
No Time to Die.
Yeah.
Dude, her song in that one though, it came. Obviously, they pushed the movie, so it came out about a year before the movie did. I heard that and I was like, damn. And I wasn't really a huge Billie Eilish fan at all. And then I heard that and was like, let me go back and listen to more of some of her stuff because that song got me going. It was like, wow, that's a great, great song. It's up there with what Adele, I think, had Skyfall or something like that.
Yeah.
Because her song, holy crap, Skyfall was so good.
I haven't watched any of those either. I think I watched the first one with
L'Oreal?
I haven't watched. Yeah, I think I watched that one. That was it. I haven't watched any of them.
We're gonna have to investigate this software because we might have to do some watches. What
do we got?
Well, no. I'm wondering if we can if I brought up like all the if we started doing like a series, maybe not the whole movie, but just like clips of Jack's never seen any of the James Bond movies. Let's watch them together, type of thing.
We could do that.
It could work. Do some reaction videos because that's the thing. If we want, because we're gonna have to have shorts, boys. We can't just do long form video for our podcast. We're gonna have to do shorts.
1 minute, dude. I hate the 1 minute shorts.
It's terrible.
Like I go to somebody's YouTube page and I'm like, oh, cool. What you want how to talk to cops and how to get out of a ticket or how to whatever. It's like, okay, I want to watch your 14-minute video. And then there's like, I have to go through 27 1-minute videos before I get to an actual full-length video.
And they all use the AI voice. And it's just like, hey, so if you want to learn how to talk to a cop, here's how you do it. And you're just like, shut up.
Yeah, but do you have to show your ID and all that? I love that stuff.
I actually watched an interesting video where a YouTuber who had just gotten partnered or whatever they call it, monetized, and she was talking about the difference between the shorts versus the long form and how much money she made. And she was like super like, here's the spreadsheet like of the money and the views, right? To compare like the shorts and the long form. And it was interesting because the shorts had like exponentially more views, but the long form videos where she actually made the money. Like you don't make any money off the shorts are the gateway to the longer form videos, right? So she made way more money off of the long form videos, but the shorts were what got people to watch the long form videos, right? Because that's how the YouTube algorithm works now, you know, is so.
Okay. But what's the point of them?
To get people to watch, because YouTube pushes them, right? That's their answer to TikTok. The shorts are there is the answer to TikTok, is the answer to Reels, is the answer to what's the Facebook one? Is it Reels?
I don't know.
I thought Facebook was
Yeah,
Reels.
I think Facebook has Reels. Yeah.
And then, you know, Instagram videos and TikTok and those types of things. So the shorts are like the answer to that.
So it's all about get the ADHD crowd and get
100%. Because there's some people, again, like it's impossible for you to go directly from a short to that person's videos. And even if you want to watch that more of that person's videos, it's really hard to do that because if you scroll or you click, it just takes you to another random one that's maybe in the same vein of stuff you've watched on YouTube.
Oh, that's
before.
dumb. If I saw a short, I'd want to go from there to their page.
Right. It's hard.
Right.
It's not easy, especially if you're on your phone or something like that. But
that's weird. Why would they? That just makes no sense. I mean, I watch most of the videos. It's kind of funny. I watch a lot of YouTube videos on my Xbox, right? So I'm watching on the Xbox, and it's like all this stuff in the chats or all this stuff is down here. I'm like, I can't figure out how to get to that from the Xbox. I'll just go back to the computer, and I know how to like a video. I mean, I'll give them props if it's a good video.
I'll put it. What I do is I'll put it in the history. So I'll watch like 10 seconds of it, and then I'll go back to the wherever I was trying to watch it from, and then I'll just go into the history and be like, okay, now I can watch this.
No, that's not bad at all. I mean, I've got the ones I subscribe to, and I'll watch those ones. Those pop up, no problem. But every once in a while, you know how it is. You go, oh, you might like this, or whatever the case would be. Like I randomly came across some piano music one, and it was like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like, why is this part of the song of like Zelda the best ever? It was like, oh, well, let's find out.
So my YouTube recommendation of the week is there's a channel called Dead Meat, and they basically. They have the movie. Channel. Well, so I'm not a fan of horror. Jack knows this, and I think you do too, Lou. I do not like horror movies. I'm not a big horror movie guy at all. But what they do
you like is it like heights.
Yeah, exactly. So they do like a kill count. So they'll watch the movie and they'll go through and just cut out the parts until that show where people are getting killed and or die, and then they'll have like also behind the scenes stuff of like that scene, right? Like. This is how they did that, you know, and they're really well done. And the guy who hosts it is really funny. And you could tell like they just love they just love the horror movies and the genre and stuff like that. And they just did one for From Dusk Till Dawn this week. And it was hilarious because every single time somebody like, you know, when Salma Hayek is doing her dance and she puts her foot in Quentin Tarantino's mouth and we're pretty sure he wrote that scene, you know? Mm-hmm. But it's good, so I would suggest checking it out if you haven't. They actually a month or so ago for the Royal Rumble, they actually had a horror Royal Rumble where his wife went through and custom created 40 horror characters with backgrounds, with music on the whole 9 yards, and then they just played a battle royale or a Royal Rumble with those 40 characters on who would win. Right. And then just like they'll let the computer play and then just see.
Wow.
It was actually very cool, but it was a ton of work going in. And I mean, Jack, you remember even just trying to create D's Nuts back in like WrestleMania 2000, like trying to get all that stuff. I can't imagine trying to do that today because there's so many options, so many more options.
Nope. We got
wouldn't that make it easier?
No, the problem is there's so many options.
It's like, all these fighter games, they're like making a Mass Effect character where you customize everything.
Oh, that's kind of a pain in the
So
ass.
it's more involved. So you can make a better character, but it's not
so instead of looking
straightforward.
Yeah, instead of looking sort of like Master Chief, you can make your character look exactly like Master Chief now, you know? But you have to go in and like warp the helmet to make it Master Chief like, because if you just use the default helmet, it doesn't, as an example, right?
Yeah. Okay. Damn, man.
So
that's okay. Yeah. I'll stick with my puzzle games.
but yeah, the YouTube channel is really good. I like it. Like I said, you can tell that, and it's one of the few YouTube channels that I actually watch the like I watch the ads, because they actually do a very good job of just not making it like, buy Manscaped. You should buy Manscaped and you'll get 20% off. Like they always have like a segment around it, and they always have like somebody wrote a script and they film it and that type of thing. And so it's actually, instead of just somebody reading a piece of paper, it's them actually playing out like another, he'll be talking and somebody will knock at the door and there'll be like something, he'll go to and open the door and it'll be an ad for something, but they like make it into a thing as opposed to him just reading the ad. So.
And you find that cool. Better? I
appreciate the fact that they're at least trying to do something different, right? Like so many.
No. I want my ad read so I know I can forward it until I see the little link at the bottom of the screen that I can unpause.
You see the white bar at the bottom.
Yeah, when I see that,
and you're like, oh, okay,
okay, this is where I push play.
They don't try to hide it. Like it's obvious when the commercial starts and when the commercial ends, but I just appreciate that they put effort into doing something different is all.
That's fair.
So.
I mean, if I will admit, if it's a decent enough, like if it's something you're actually subscribed to, I will give them the kudos and I will watch their ad. And if it's something worth a damn, like eventually, I keep saying this for year 5 now. Eventually, I'll get a VPN. And there's enough people that I watch that are like, oh, it's NordVPN, it's ExpressVPN. So wait a minute, you were pushing Nord this year, and now you're pushing Express this year. What the hell happened?
Yeah,
like who paid you more? That's what happened.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Oh, and then the other thing,
want to pay us?
Yeah, right. Hey, Magic Spoon.
Hey,
where you at, Magic Spoon?
Yeah, Magic Spoon.
Magic Spoon.
Lou's hollering at you.
Right? I will eat your cereal dry. They can do it with the milk.
Ooh. Never mind. We're not getting sponsored by anybody because I have nothing good to say about any of those sponsors.
Oh shit,
Dr. Squatch. Oh no.
Oh yeah, no, we're not. No, that's not a thing. That's not a thing. I ain't gonna lie, Magic Spoon, man. I'm again. I don't do milk, but for y'all, that's not a lactose intolerant thing. I'm afraid of milk. I don't want it near me. There's a story that Jack will tell you later on, some future podcast about his daughter at Comic-Con spilling some milk at Jack in the Box, but but yeah, that one stood out. I mean, obviously the VPN stood out. I'm trying to think of the one where you can like I don't know, the star chart for when you met your girlfriend or something like that. Where were the stars?
Oh, they have like a picture of the stars.
Yeah,
of that night or whatever.
That one.
Like if we say, oh, Jack and I met on August 12th, 1999, they'll roll back and take a picture and then
I think that's kind of neat. And also, I can't remember what it's called. Is it disc plate or disc plate? The metal disc plate. Okay, ones, the metal ones. Those look pretty damn cool. I ain't gonna lie. Those are pretty cool. And in fact, I'm looking at my Vader and Boba Fett and Ahsoka prints right now, and I'm like, oh, I could swap those out. And I'm thinking, why would I swap those out? They look so good. That's why I bought them.
All right. Looks like Lou is going to be our ad guy, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Right.
Got a nice little suit and a briefcase.
Hell yeah! I got my Vader chest briefcase for work.
There you go.
Don got that for me a couple years back, and I still use it. I'm looking at it right now. So when I have to go in, I work from home, but when I go in, all my stuff goes in my Vader plate freaking briefcase. Got my Vader mouse. Hell yeah! Although you would think that I should get a mouse droid for a mouse. That would just seem
that would be better. That would be better.
I wonder if they make one. I have to look into that. That'd be kind of cool.
Oh, we probably should preface we need to, Jack, for suggestions for the show, we probably want to put up a thing saying like spoilers. Like, and then if whatever we decide to talk about, put up like spoilers for the Bad Batch, spoilers for this.
Yeah.
Anything recent. Sure. But it's like, but then put a disclaimer. Also spoilers for Rogue One, which if you haven't seen yet, then no, shut
right.
up. Like,
get out of here. That reminds me, did you ever catch up?
Expectations of our audience.
Yeah, I caught up on
Batch?
On what? On Bad Batch? Yeah.
1 through 3. Okay, so you're good there. Okay, so Jack, I know you got my text, or you guys all apparently got my text late, way late, a day late. But again, back to that topic. It was like, be very clear. I liked all 3 episodes. No problem there. But episode 1, I don't want the Bad Batch to be my line to episode 9 to make that make sense. Do it, not directly anyway. Do it indirectly and you're fine. But 1 was, it was so obvious with that. It was like, I'm not sure. But 2 and 3, that felt like the Bad Batch. It was used to, okay, we're on this mission, we're doing something, whatever, versus I get it. It's set up, and they were very smart to drop those 3 episodes together. I would have been mad if I just got episode 1.
Real quick, you were talking about episode 9. I don't know what you're talking about. So can you guys catch me up on?
Oh, you have not seen episode 9.
He doesn't even know it exists. He has erased it from his memory.
Yeah,
you're right.
No, I have it downloaded, and I still have not watched it again. I just can't, like. I mean, I told you guys the story. Like, that night for me was like, it like the highs and lows of life were that night, right? Like, we went to dinner, and I'm just a freaking basket case all through dinner. Like, I had 800 Kleenexes shoved up my sleeve, thinking, oh my God, I'm going to be bawling through the whole thing. Cause this is like, again, I mean, I met Jack and I met you, and like so much of our lives have been formed by Star Wars. And now it's at the time officially coming to an end. Right. Like, and I went, and it was just, and then we can have a longer conversation about this at some point. We might even, I'm sure we'll probably have to have a whole podcast episode dedicated to it. But I just walked out of there, and people were like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I don't know." And they were like, "Well, it doesn't look like you cried or anything." And people were disappointed because they thought I was just going to be a big baby. And I was like, I don't even know what I watched. Like, it was just so, it felt so detached from everything else that I had seen before. Like, even it was just so. And now the fact that they're, to go along with what you were saying, Lou, the fact that they're now trying to like shoehorn in older events to tie into that, which they kind of did during Mandalorian, which again, we can have a conversation about whether that was the right thing to do or not. I truly feel like they should have just kept the Mandalorian completely separate from everything and let it be its own entity, right? Like, in the universe. But you know what? I don't need to see Luke Skywalker. I've seen Luke Skywalker a lot. And guess what? You're going to put Luke Skywalker on the screen as the black suited Jedi Knight. And I'm going to say, he looks okay. But I know what Mark Hamill looks like today. And it ain't that. Like, again, I go back to episode 1. They've never learned their lesson that when people were so critical of episode 1, and we all, me and Jack had many conversations about it, all 19 times that we saw it. I've had so many conversations at Celebration and stuff with people about it. And, it's like, no matter what he would have done, it would not have been good enough. Right? Like, the expectations for that movie were so high.
No.
What? Yes.
No.
For episode 1.
No, there's nothing that he could have done to make that good enough. I disagree. Because what are the biggest issues you hear about episode 1? Jar Jar. So if you didn't have Jar Jar, you wouldn't have the complaint, correct?
No, I think that the problem is if it was just Jar Jar, right? But then you have like Jake Lloyd, who I feel sorry for. God damn, if there's anybody in the Star Wars universe I feel bad for, as far as like a real person, it's Jake Lloyd. Because I don't even feel like Ahmed Best, while he got a ton of shit for Jar Jar, at least he was an adult when it happened and was mature and could manage it, right? I mean, I think we saw something where he said he was like maybe suicidal at some point.
What? I'm lost here. What crap did Jake Lloyd get? I didn't hear anything.
Dude, it's bad. We can even talk about that next week.
Okay,
put a
sounds
pin in
good.
this conversation.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
I'll
all right.
get some research done on it, and we'll go into it.
Yeah, I didn't know.
But yeah, no, he got.
He's never
it's bad.
He never acted again. Like it made him. He never. I mean, I think he might have done one or two small things.
Didn't he do like something with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Jingle All the Way, yeah.
Yeah, Jingle All the Way.
But I don't know if that was before or after.
Okay.
I feel like it was before.
I feel like it was before too. But after episode 1, his life has just been a complete nightmare. Like, but again, we can talk about that next week.
Yeah, I don't understand why. I understand why Jar Jar got crap. I don't understand why Jake Lloyd would have got crap. But not even Ahmed Best. Jar Jar got crap to me. I thought Ahmed Best was fine.
But that was also, I feel like we'll get into it next week.
Yeah, because we're gonna get all the Star Wars hate in one damn week. I was gonna say one pod. I was like, that's gonna take more than one because you know me with the show Obi-Wan, not a fan.
We're gonna have to. Well, I think what we're gonna have to do is have a structure of like this week. This is what we're gonna talk about.
Yeah, we'll have an agenda
for sure.
Yeah,
and then we'll kind of we'll kind of spread away from the agenda anyway, but we'll at least do it in order. Yeah. It'll be order chaos.
Yeah.
So, all right, Jack. Are we gonna our last segment of the night?
Yep. Lou, you did any white people shit this week?
Okay, so it was a pretty quiet week, but yeah, I kind of did nothing crazy. But I joined a group and we all went bowling, which is huge in the white people world, especially with your alcohol. Apparently, y'all can't bowl without alcohol. I guess it's a thing.
That's fair.
We do bowl better when we're drunk.
See, I don't know what that is with y'all. See, don't be wrong. I'll bowl with food. I had my gloves, so just so y'all know, I ain't touching food. But I will pick up my gloves, and I bowled with a bunch of white people. It was probably about it was a work thing, and there's about 100 plus of us, and there were 3 black people, and I was half of one. So just so y'all know, I'm half black, half Spanish. So, but yeah, this week it was that, and then I caught up on some of the golf events that were happening. There's an event happening right now. There is an American in first place, 19 under, going into tomorrow's round. So, but yeah, that was my white folk shit for this week was bowling and watching golf. Hopefully, I'll get to a hockey match pretty soon.
If this takes off, the plan is for 2025. Star Wars Celebration. 2 weeks before that is an F1 race. We got to get Lou to an F1 race because that's the whitest shit ever. Beyond
NASCAR. NASCAR. Come on,
no. But I'm talking about worldwide. I'm talking about worldwide.
Okay.
The only black thing about F1 is Lewis Hamilton. All right, like
the only black thing about F1 are the tires. Man. Come on.
The road.
Lou's like,
dude, the road is a little bit gray. The road's a little
Lou's like, I can't go to pit road. They keep trying to put me on the car.
Right? It's like, what the hell, man? I don't roll that way. Oh, man.
Okay, we'll wrap it up. Hopefully you're listening to this because I figured out how to edit and produce and upload it. And then we'll see you guys next week.
That'd help.
Peace.
Bye.